been in Melbourne a while now, and one thing I've found that I really like is this worldwide culture of people taking something old and doing it up and making it new, and that's happening with motorbikes, with custom motorbikes. And I'm in Collingwood at the moment, Easy Street Collingwood, and a new thing that's set up called the Kustom Kommune. So we're going to go and have a look. It's in this back laneway, and basically two guys have run like a Kickstarter program, and they've raised some funds. They've got about 200 members, and they've got a cafe. They're setting up a cafe. It's all just new. I've just had my bike customised, but Jimmy's one of the guys who set it up. Jimmy, how are you going?
Hey Mark, how are you?
Good. Do you want to show me around the new Kustom Kommune?
Yeah, let's have a quick tour, huh?
Yeah.
So basically this is our cafe bar area. Hopefully one day it's going to be a bar. We're just working through all the permits and things like that.
So just to let people know, it's only been running, what, 2 weeks now, is it?
2 weeks, yeah. We did a bit of a soft launch a couple of weeks ago. So just to open up the workshop so people that were itching to get in here can get in and start modifying, just like yourself.
Let's go and have a look.
Cool.
So it's a really nice space, and I was here for the Oil Stained Brain, which was you had a band here, and so originally what was this space?
This was an old artist studio. It had about 12 different street artists working in here. They'd been here for quite a while, but they outgrew the space, so decided to move on. I knew the guy that has the lease for the building, which was quite convenient, who happens to be a motorcycle scooter mechanic, a bit of a hobbyist, mind you. So yeah, we got talking, and we're talking about this project that we wanted to launch here in Melbourne, and just came in and looked at the space and absolutely fell in love with the location and the vastness of what we've got here. So you
basically just ripped everything out. Let's walk through and have a look.
Cool.
So you've ripped everything out, haven't you?
We have. We basically gutted the place. All that you see in the cafe area we built ourselves. So we've spent the last 4 months actually hand building all the furniture, putting up the walls, repainting, stripping, getting the floors nice and clean. With so much waste, just like old stuff that had been here over the last 10 years. We tried to recycle and reuse as much as we possibly could in the space. So that was great as a bit of a cost-cutting exercise as well.
And so the idea is there's about 200 members who pay a yearly membership, and then they can come in and use the space to work on their bikes. I did that. Let's walk around and have a look at the bays.
Cool.
I did that, and basically there's the tools, there's the expertise to actually customise a bike.
Yeah, so the whole concept of the space was basically, I'd been living in a city for a number of years and really wanted to do more work on my motorcycles. I've been building bikes for a number of years and never had the right space or been able to afford all the tools. It's quite expensive to set up a motorcycle workshop, and your average sort of tinkerer, it's not really a feasible thing to do. So we came up with a solution of having it all in one space where people like myself can come in and work on their bike themselves. So we've set up what we call DIY bays over here. It's pretty much your own workshop within your own space. So you've got your own toolkit with everything you need: spanners, hammers, wrenches, pliers, absolutely everything. Your own bench and a bike lift as well, so you're not having to get grubby on the ground working on your bike. So we've got 3 bays over here. Now the space can be rented out by the hour or by the month. It's $20 an hour or $200 a month, and you can come in and use the space for as much as you like.
Which for me, I mean, what I found fantastic was there were people on hand who could help me customise the bike and get it safe, because it is a cheaper bike. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But that's what I found really impressive, that for someone like myself who's never done any work on a motorbike, there was someone here to actually help me pull it apart and put it back together.
Exactly, and you raise a really good point around the whole safety issue. I see a lot of guys that build their bikes and they are doing them in their backyard, and they're not using the right tools all the time to do certain jobs. And in the meantime, because of that, they may break bolts or strip bolts and things like that. So showing people how to do things the correct way is really important for us as well. So it makes it safer as well. And then even looking at bikes as well to make sure that it's actually operational, that the brakes are fine, that there's no engine mounts that are snapped off like Mark's bike.
But we did a lot of work on this over 2 days pretty much, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a bit of a speed job, but I think we went at a pretty good pace. I mean, we did a lot to this bike. We basically went over it first and foremost to make sure everything was safe, and we looked at all the bolts that are holding the engine in place and anything moving to make sure it was in there securely, the right size bolts and the right size holes. Once we figured all that out and swapped a couple of engine mounts over, we replaced the exhaust. That was quite a lucky job that it kind of just bolted on, so we didn't have to do too much fabrication there. We stripped all the rear ends, so we cut off the rear subframe to make the bike a little bit shorter. We reduced the size of the rear fender as well. Resprayed the fenders. They used to be white, so now it looks like a complete bike that was meant to be black rather than black and white. We fabricated a little license plate and tail light bracket out of some of the parts that we actually took off the bike. So reusing what we already had. It's just a really cost-effective way of doing things.
And it was good fun.
It was awesome fun. This is what I live for.
Let's have a bit more look around so down this end we've got a bit of a storage space for people, specialised tools.
Yep, so this is a bit more of the machinery area. This is for the more specialised jobs. So we have things like drill presses, grinders, belt linishers, specialty tools, and a clean zone for things like engine assembly, where it has to be quite clean and tidy and not dusty. We also have parts washers and sand blasting units. So this is to get your parts nice and clean before you assemble it all up together.
I sort of like, I mean, I know you've just set up, but I like the way it's set up where you've got the storage space over there. So I can come in with a box of junk and leave it up there. I can leave my helmet and my, my leather jacket here. It's really, you've really thought it out,
Yeah, and look, I think this just comes from years of experience of going to bars and cafes on my motorcycle and going, oh man, I've got nowhere to put my helmet and jacket, So little things like having a hallway full of hooks for helmets and jackets, things like that. And then operating out of a really small space makes you very conscious of where things need to go. So planning all that sort of thing out, like having your dedicated storage areas for parts and boxes and that sort of thing. Having the bays the right size for boxes, and we know that you can fit a wheel in there, that you can fit an engine in there, things like that. So
now I know everyone who's going to be watching this, there's going to be a lot of fans of bikes. Let's have a look at that sidecar bike down the end there, because everything sort of, you've even got a guy selling coffee, crank coffee, with a coffee machine attached to his sidecar.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting build. So I've met Sam a number of years ago. I obviously was quite attracted to his setup because I love bikes and I love Japanese bikes, what this is based on. So Sam set this up as an event-based coffee machine, I guess. So it's an SR500 with a sidecar with a coffee machine on it. It weighs about a ton fully laden, and a 500cc engine will haul that thing around all day. That's pretty impressive. So
let's talk about how you set it up. There's yourself and Richie.
Yep.
So you had a fundraiser, but you're a part of there is a real custom community in Melbourne, isn't there?
Look, there really is. Motorcycling in Australia, and particularly Melbourne, is really growing rapidly. Motorcycles are almost becoming a bit of a fashion accessory lately, and they're becoming more affordable. Spaces like this are popping up, as well, so they're becoming more achievable as well. So we ended up doing a Possible fundraising campaign.
Which is the Australian version of Kickstarter, for people who don't know. Yep.
Exactly. We put the idea out. We had a goal of $35,000. That's how much on paper, we thought we would need to sort of secure a space. There was much more involved with the fit out and that kind of thing. And we actually hit our target with a couple of weeks to spare and ended up raising 115% of our target, which was absolutely incredible. And considering that our project is a very locational based setup, to think that the motorcycling community around us supported us so much was absolutely amazing.
Jimmy, thanks for your time and thanks for helping with the bike. It's come up fantastic. I'm very impressed. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the bikes that you turn out of here. I mean, over time, it's going to be great just to see all the different bikes. I mean, you put it all on the blog. It is a worldwide culture, and you're leading the race in Melbourne.
I hope so. So yeah, enjoy the bike, man. It looks brilliant now and sounds great.
Thank you.
Cheers.